Welcome back to Callahan's Corner, where you ask the questions, answer them live right here on Facebook. Talk to a lot of industry experts and people who have gone out and scaled, if not one, but multiple seven-figure businesses, not only in the service industry, but in multiple industries. And there really is one common denominator that I could find amongst the success of business owners that really break that seven-figure mark and get to that 3 to 5 million mark and well beyond. And the ones that seem to kind of die out in that stage three business, they start bumping up against that seven-figure mark or get just past it. And things kind of just fall apart for better lack of explanation there. And I think there's a main reason why these businesses tend to fall apart and then slide back to a comfort area. And that comfort area really is one of complete chaos or just really not providing great service. Usually the latter, it is just really going in and having a business that isn't structured and be able to control your time. So we are obviously big proponents of automating your business and creating systems scalable and delegatable, such as automations through life cycle marketing, as well as going in and creating systems such as production rate based estimating, job costing, and how to use several different softwares to accomplish that. But the biggest thing that I find for founders, and I fell victim to myself in the early years, is we need to figure out how to manage our time. But that's not only the solution to part of this, but it's only the start of it, because really, as we're looking at it, our team members are falling victim to the same issues that we are, even if we do figure out how to manage our time. So I'm going to break down some simple examples of how you can actually use time management in your service business, or any business for that matter, and how you can actually go out and coach and support your team members to manage their time more effectively. So as you're looking at it, basically there's really two sides of the business. On the right hand side, we're going to call this working in the business, as Michael Gerber would say. Obviously, Michael Gerber professed that we should be working on the business, not in it. But obviously, there's going to be some times that we need to work in the business, especially our team members. So what I'm proposing is about 80% of our time is probably in a business as it's scaling is going to be working in the business. But what we really need to do is save the other 20% to be working on the strategic objectives and working on the strategy, setting the vision, and where we're going. So I'm going to show you some simple tips and tricks that I use, and how I've mentored more than a few people on my multiple businesses, how to actually manage some time and get some effectiveness out of their day, and to make sure the things that need to get done on a daily, weekly basis happen. But how do we block out some time and not be fighting fires all day? So without any further delay, I'm going to pop open my screen here, and at the end, I'm actually going to show you inside an online calendar such as Google Calendar, how I actually go out and work with my team members to actually create structure in their day to achieve the 20% of strategic objectives and the 80% of being able to work in the business with getting all those things done on a daily, weekly basis. Because let's face it, folks, especially in the spring rush, in most service businesses, it's near impossible to get all these things done. So if we don't guard our calendar, A, we're not getting them done, but B, our customer service as well, it's probably going to suck. But by going in and blocking the calendar, not only are you going to have better productive days that are predictable and you and your staff will be more happy, but B, your clients are going to be more happy because they are going to get predictable service. Debbie Sardone, who runs Cleaning Business Fundamentals, CBF, and one of her talks I thought was crazy at first, but I love Debbie, and Debbie is just a mad genius when it comes to business. But Debbie said in one of her talks, while I was sitting and we split a day doing a talk, I believe it was in Savannah, Georgia, teaching lawn care and business owners and other service business industries how to go out and automate and run a business. She talked about your client only requires or demands 80%. Now, we obviously, business owners want to give 100, 110%, but really what she was getting to is they want consistency. And if you can get them 80% consistently on time, predictable services, that's the same each and every time, that's where you're going to win. So same kind of methodology here. Your clients, if you are not running around with a chicken like its head cut off, are going to be more happy. So I'm going to show you how to really build this into your schedule and actually delegate this. I'm going to do this as two admin examples, and then I'm going to open up my calendar or test calendar to show you how to actually start to build this out for yourself and your team members. And let me tell you, if your team members have never been introduced to this, this is instrumental. So it's not just enough to go out and block your calendar and teach this. But we need to go out and start to support our team members with this. That's how we grow and scale a business and start to delegate with predictable results. And like Debbie said, we need to do 80% consistently, and that is going to win the game. Don't strive for 110% each time, because it's not going to happen. So this process will create predictable results, and it may not be an immediate jumping on an issue as soon as it happens, but it's going to be consistent and predictable. And that's what people want, not reactive every time something happens. So without any further delay, I'm going to pop open the screen here and take a look at it. So this is potentially an admin position here. And what I've done is broken out a scope of work of how they can actually break this down here. And what we're looking at here is I'm setting up a daily cadence, okay? And we're going to talk about what should be done on a daily cadence on a regular basis. And then we're going to break it down on each day of the week, what we should be doing. So we're creating predictable results that are measurable, actionable, and it's very clear at the end of the day and the end of the week if this person's done their job. Now, the issue comes up is we get an aggravated client, a truck breaks down, we need emails to return, and we're constantly working those things. Those are going to be distractions. So I'm going to show you how you break those into your day for consistency as well. But what we got here is a basic example is daily. This admin is going to be doing social media. So basically on my team, this person will be going in. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live by myself and the team. Essay Weekly. We're going to go in and take that video and create a podcast out of the video that I'm making today. And we're going to post that video in different areas based on live or post recorded and based on the sales cycle, working on our marketing document. They're going to go into Instagram and repurpose that video, Twitter, and then on the sales focus. So that is our social media area today. Sales, follow up on hot leads, go in, communicate with the sales team. Has things been updated? Has the data been loaded into our sales Monday morning meeting agenda so we can review that every Monday with the team, cover live chat. YouTube, they're going to be creating some thumbnails in Canva to stick on these videos that we're making here to actually get them in. So we've got some cadence here. So that's what we're going to be doing on a daily basis to make sure all the social and sales are taken care of for this position. Obviously, we've got another admin probably handing AR on a daily or twice a week cadence. Weekly, we've broken down the things they need to be doing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Notice Wednesday, work on strategic objectives. So those are some of the things we're setting in for our quarterly and annually goals. What are the things they have to do to get that done? So we need to block some time out on that. Thursday, Friday, and then monthly. So now we have a clear cadence of what needs to be done on those days. Now, if we go into another admin position in the team, Monday, the returning calls and emails. Enter new sales in the install documents, post social media on sites above, 9 a.m. Meet with Mike and the financial team to do overdue invoices on 11 to 12 team meeting. Once again, Tuesday, return calls and emails. So we're going to start blocking out the consistent things that need to happen on a daily basis. I'm going to show you how we actually do that. But you'll notice that this position here has return calls and emails first thing in the morning. And each day there's a different cadence that needs to be tackled here as we continue to scroll down. So the idea is drop it into a Google Doc, block out what it looks like. What do you need to do every day? And then what are the objectives we're doing each day of the week? And then if there's something monthly or quarterly, we'll put that into the calendar. But this is really, I wanted to lay that as a foundational piece, but this is really where the rubber hits the road here, folks. So I was going to pull up my personal calendar, but we've got a lot of clients' names on there in different meetings that I don't really want to share on a Facebook video. But let's say we're breaking this down for an admin or a manager of the crews. So really what I'm looking at here is, let's say we're getting the crews out at 7 a.m. Or maybe 8 a.m. So maybe we've got a time block for the admin to go in every day here, and from 7 to 7:30, they are going to go in and review yesterday's work and update routes. So that's something there that's going to happen in a service business pretty much every day. We need to make sure we got actual clock in and clock out budgeted time. And if a job was skipped or there was issues, they couldn't get into a backyard, couldn't get into a house that was locked out at the end of the day, we need to put that in there. So this would be now assigned to a particular person, or if it was on my calendar, I would go in and then potentially hit save here. If it was a meeting, we could do a video recording. So this is great whether you're in the field on an iPhone, iPad, or in the office. But if we go into more options here, what we're going to do is go in and Does it repeat? Yes, it does. And this is going to be pretty much daily here, or we could do every day of the week, Monday through Friday. So that would probably be the plan there. I would potentially say, let's go in and put it daily, because if we're delayed with rain or different issues, this would pop up on a Saturday or Sunday if need be. But now what we've got now is we've got a daily cadence that this person is reviewing yesterday's work and getting this work ready. Now we could be going in at 8 a.m. Once they're already in the office, and this could be our time slots. I would say we would probably block out on this methodology here, maybe a half hour to 45 minutes. Now, depending on the volume, but this would be return emails. Now, 8 a.m. maybe a little bit early in some areas to return in phone calls. So we'd probably go in, or email returning phone calls. So we would probably go in and say, okay, we're going to go in, repeats Monday through Friday, and hit save. And we would probably go in and say every morning by 8, from 8:30 to 9, we're returning phone calls. Now, obviously, if there's no phone calls from the night before, we're good. We move on to the next objective that we need. But more options, we're going in now. And this is how we're going to go in and start to build out a cadence for our admin or ourselves based on the roles and responsibilities that we've highlighted out on these Google Docs. So now that we have this, we're going to go in and add this feature, and we're going to do this Monday through Friday. So now we're starting to build some cadence in here. So on Monday mornings, we're probably going to have a team huddle. If you don't, I would highly recommend it. So this would be our leadership role. So in our business, it is usually from 11 to noon. So this would be just our Monday. So this is our Monday morning meeting, leadership. And what I would also recommend is we're starting to block this time here. We're starting to make some of the colors of these different. So our leadership meetings may be one color. Our daily tasks or things that we need to do are going to be in this default blue color. So we're going to start to time block this calendar as well to start to guard it. Now, if we are potentially a project manager or someone like in the field, we could potentially say, okay, at 1 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this could be our QC on site. And slash complaints. So as we're starting to get this idea here, then we would go into more options, and we're going to go into a custom repeat and go in and actually start to block this out. So I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So the idea here is if a complaint came in over the weekend, it came in on Tuesday, whenever that is, within 24 to 48 hours, that complaint is now addressed. So we have good customer service, but we're not leaving the office and running out to deal with the complaint unless it's catastrophic, like a lawnmower drove through the side of a house or something. This is now going to create predictable ability for an admin or yourself to block that time and actually go out and manage those issues without running around crazy. This is where we're starting to build time, build clarity and consistency in the business. So as you can see here, I'm kind of overlapping some roles, but honestly, depending on the size of your business, this actually could be really applicable. So with drive time, that could actually potentially be driven out maybe to an hour and a half or 2 hours. Once you update one, this can update this and following events or that event. So now we're starting to build some cadence in here. So you kind of get the idea here, but we're going to go in, and then these are daily activities that are responsive. Leadership activities are probably going to be in a different color. Quality control and things like that probably would be in a different color. Now, where I find a lot of value in this is Tuesday, Thursday are actually my strategic blocks to work on the business and not in the business. So the team pretty much knows, unless I'm helping cover a deep dive or on the road, from 9 to probably about 3 p.m., I'm going to go in and color block that. But that is a strategic block. And this is where we start to actually work on the business and not in it. And this is really the instrumental part. So you can see I'm going in now and blocking that out. And then I'm going to go in and repeat it custom every Tuesday, Thursday and hit save. And now that time block for my strategic block to work on the business and not in it is blocked out. Now my admin, and honestly to myself, that's my time to work on the business. Now, if something comes up or an emergency, I've got that built out every other day here, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if there's a massive issue that as far as quality control or customer service, I'm still going to be responsive, but now I'm doing it in a controlled time that's going to create predictable results, and it's going to give me time to actually go out and manage that issue on site with the client if I need to in my service business. So these are the things that we really want to be doing. Now, let's assume that your business has grown to a size and you're a state that does sales tax or quarterly taxing, or just something that needs to be done. What we can do then is go in and say, let's say the sales tax is due the 20th of every month, which it was in New York State. Here actually still is. We could say the 17th of every month, we'd go in and say, okay, at 9 a.m., this is our sales tax. Obviously, once you get to a size of business that you're filing monthly, you probably have someone doing this. But Tammy in my business would actually go in and do this. Now, if I'm helping Tammy, she's more than capable. But in the early days, let's say Tammy was having issues with this, I would go in and go under other and add the calendars, and then go in a screen share need with this person, help them build out their calendar. But what I would do then is say, this is my time for an hour to file the sales tax. And then my options is going in and does not repeat. And then I can do monthly on the third Friday or monthly on a certain date in there. So this is the idea is we can set custom recurrences in here. Now, a service like Service Autopilot will have tickets. I'm going to recommend using this because tickets are not going to be able to block and manage your calendar. Now, you can use them in correspondence with tickets, but if you're looking to go out and literally manage your calendar here and get this done, the ability to manage and own your time is going to be instrumental. And the ability for these strategic blocks, very similar to my business when Amanda or Andrea now, our two full-time admin, are going to be able to go in and say, hey, Mike, you've got your 93 block. Does this fit in? Can I override it? Or traditional, they'll just block outside of it. But this is the way you're going to own your schedule. This is the way that you can create predictable results from your team members. Now, you can notice we're returning emails and phone calls only once in the beginning of the day. Now, if you've got an admin or a manager, obviously this is probably going to need to happen obviously more than just the beginning of the day. So what I would recommend is this is what we did with my team is I clicked into those and said, okay, if that's the case, let's customize that um, and add that in. So right after, say, their lunch hour, if 11 to noon was their lunch, we could go in and now create a process there to create return email and calls. And we'd go in and set that in with more options. And now that would also repeat on Monday through Friday. And then we would go in and hit save. So once again, we could start blocking these and actually setting the colors here. So everything in blue is in the office. Everything here for QC could be set up. So if I know if I'm on the road, that's going to be, say, a purple color. Obviously, you pick the colors you want. But this is the idea. And then your strategic blocks are in this yellow or something that's completely different. So then once we updated all of these on-sites would be all blue or purple. We've got the blue that's in the office. So now we've hit our returner emails in the morning, after lunch. And then I would go in and say, okay, between 4:30 and 5 o'clock, same idea. Return emails and phone calls. We're going to go into more options and literally block that out. So this is really it's very, very basic stuff, but it can be game changing if you've never done it on a consistent basis. So now our admin would have the ability to know they're returning emails and phone calls first thing in the morning. At 7 a.m., they're reviewing and updating the schedules and get them updated before the crews get in at 7:30. And maybe we're driving this to, if they're starting at 7, they may be ending at 4. From that time there. Now they're returning emails and phone calls, and we'd want to click in if we had and actually create a reoccurring process. So now we've actually started to time block some consistent results for any position in our business. Now, obviously, your crew leaders, your technicians, these things are not really going to happen on a Google Calendar. But anything above a in the field operator, right up to the business owner, should have their calendar blocked out this way to be able to focus on at least 20% of that business working strategically, and then the 80% that we're working in the business being controlled and creating persistent results and being able to get 80% of whatever we're doing consistently predictable. And by doing so here, this is going to hopefully alleviate your temptation to go out and firefight and run around and be reactive. Let's go in and be proactive and set times and cadence and structure to the things that happen in our business by managing the Google Calendar, setting it up after we've gone in and scoped out what is our weekly cadences of each day and what are our daily cadences and monthly, and build those into the calendar so they should happen. And then every day when we go into our Monday morning meeting for leadership or the core group, we can have those things reported out for clarity. And every time you clock in on Monday, by the time you clock out on Friday, you know you've done your job because now there's a clear expectation of when it should happen. And the customer is going to be happy because you've set a clear, repeatable system that is not going to be chaotic, but have consistent services and customer satisfaction. Callahan's Corner, US questions. We answer them live right here on Facebook. We'll see you again tomorrow.